The anomaly appeared during a routine payroll audit at one of the country's busiest international airports. Payroll analyst Sarah Mitchell was reviewing archived employment records when she noticed something impossible. A retired airport operations worker named Leonard Hayes had recently clocked into work. Hayes had retired 3 years earlier after nearly 3 decades of service. His employment file was closed, benefits finalized, and airport credentials supposedly deactivated. Assuming it was a software error, Sarah searched deeper. What she found was alarming. Hayes' employee number appeared repeatedly across multiple months. The entries followed regular work schedules, complete with start times, department assignments, and secure area access logs. Airport management launched a review, expecting a database malfunction. Instead, access control records showed Leonard's badge continuing to open secure doors throughout the airport. The deeper investigators looked, the stranger the case became. If Leonard Hayes retired years ago, who was still reporting to work under his identity? Airport security investigators examined badge records, surveillance footage, and access control databases. At first, they suspected synchronization failures between payroll and security systems, but the activity was too consistent. Leonard's badge appeared during overnight maintenance shifts, operational transitions, and restricted access periods. Security footage occasionally captured someone using a badge at checkpoints, but camera angles often obscured their face. Several employees claimed they had recently seen Leonard walking through maintenance corridors. Others insisted that was impossible. Investigators discovered the badge had entered highly restricted airport zones, including service tunnels beneath Terminal 3. The activity was not random. Someone appeared to know exactly where they were going. As investigators reconstructed movement patterns, they realized the badge holder had intimate knowledge of airport operations. The mystery had evolved from a payroll anomaly into a potential security breach. A formal investigation brought together HR auditors, digital forensics specialists, airport managers, and outside journalists. Thousands of archived records were reviewed. Analysts mapped years of badge activity and compared them against staffing schedules. A pattern emerged. Nearly every unauthorized access event occurred during periods of reduced supervision. Journalists investigating the story uncovered interviews with former supervisors who described unusual circumstances surrounding Leonard's retirement. Several recalled internal disputes shortly before he left the airport. Others mentioned investigations that seemed to vanish from official records. Digital forensics experts identified missing data inside archived employee databases. Entire sections of personnel history appeared incomplete. When investigators requested Leonard's full personnel file, they discovered something even more troubling. Critical documents were missing. The disappearance of those records suggested the airport's problems might have begun years before Leonard ever retired. The missing personnel file changed everything. Hidden within scattered archives, investigators uncovered references to a long-forgotten internal inquiry. Years before retirement, Leonard had become connected to an unresolved airport security incident involving missing equipment and unauthorized activity inside restricted areas. The investigation was quietly closed without a public explanation. Former airport managers revealed that multiple departments disagreed about the findings. Some records suggested security procedures had been violated. Others indicated evidence had disappeared. Investigators uncovered altered reports, conflicting statements, and administrative decisions that complicated future audits. The discovery raised disturbing questions. Had Leonard been involved in misconduct? Had someone used his credentials to conceal other activities? Or had airport officials buried mistakes that later created years of confusion? As investigators followed the paper trail, they discovered that several key records had been modified shortly before Leonard's retirement. The mystery was no longer about a badge. It had become a hidden chapter of airport history. After years of investigation, authorities assembled the most likely explanation. Evidence suggested that Leonard's badge credentials were never fully removed from multiple legacy systems during a software migration. This oversight allowed the badge identity to remain active inside older access control databases. Investigators also found evidence that airport personnel familiar with the system had used dormant credentials to bypass scrutiny. Because Leonard was retired, activity linked to his badge generated little attention. The historical security incident complicated matters further. Missing records and altered documentation prevented investigators from determining exactly who used credentials over the years. Some experts concluded the activity resulted from poor badge management and database failures. Others believed individuals intentionally exploited those weaknesses. A third theory suggested the credentials were used to conceal unauthorized operations inside restricted airport areas. A final theory remained that missing records still hide critical answers. The last recorded access event linked to Leonard's badge occurred 5 years after his retirement. The system registered a badge swipe. A secure door opened. No camera clearly identified the person responsible. The case was eventually closed, but questions remained. Airports depend on knowing exactly who enters and exits secure areas. Yet one retired worker continued showing up long after his career had officially ended. Even today, experts still debate who truly returned to work under Leonard Hayes' name.